Hi, this is MXUX. That's Dan, DJ Dan Ninivaggi. I'm doing a section here on his comments on the Q222 call. Okay, I'm back. This call, what I'm going to try to do is I'm going to put a short video out on each executive's turn, their comments. Dan Ninivaggi opened with what seemed to be some pretty mundane comments, but boy, when I parsed them out, there is so much going on here. And it's very important for the Hdlrs to take a look at that. Now, that is a picture of Dan Ninivaggi. And I just want to say about Dan Ninivaggi, the Woody Allen glasses, don't let him fool you. He is a apex predator, New York money guy, icon, Carl Icon, capo, auto executive, fleet executive, COB. He's moved on. He's the executive chairman of the board. He's doing strategy. Now, Hightower's taking the CEO roles, and he's also raising money, which is right where he belongs. Now, let's just go through his comments. Stick with me to the end on this, guys, because I'll tell you what, you're not going to believe what you hear. Okay, moving on here. These are some basic comments he made. Top management team recruited and in place. The Foxconn sale and the joint venture deal and the contract manufacturing deal is in place. Foxconn and Lordstown Motors are melded into one unit, one operating unit. And it looks, and I would just like to preface this, and I don't want to try to keep this short, they both have to agree. Foxconn and Lordstown have to agree on the information that is released. And we have to understand there's a DOJ and a SEC investigation, which are highly not needed at this point. This is a whole new company. Anyway, the deal's complete. The money has come in. Just as a preview of Kroll's comments, there was a profit this quarter. Their capital need is, I had said that it was 120 million. I'm sorry, 150 million. I believe that's down to like 50 to 22 million they need now to complete production. So they are golden on that sense. But let's just go with what we've got here. Okay? Now, this here, actively seeking partners outside of Foxconn. Okay? And this is, now their main partnership is Foxconn and the MIH consortium, the MED, MIH EV development joint venture. They are seeking, now get this, other OEMs to scale endurance. Okay? Note this, okay? Other OEMs to scale endurance. The endurance is seen as a scalable vehicle platform. Okay, now, are we talking about the body and the skateboard or just the skateboard? Doesn't matter. Lordstown Motors, under Ninivaggi's lead, is looking to jointly scale the endurance. So they are looking for partners outside of this consortium to scale the endurance to mass production. And the comment was other OEMs. All right. Now, they didn't say small OEMs that need to compete. He did not say that need help competing. He said other OEMs. And this could imply big OEMs. It sounds like that. We have to read between the lines and follow the breadcrumbs. I just want to say, I have inside information which I did not have confirmation on, but this is really confirmation on that information I got. I'm not going to say who Lordstown has been talking to, and I do not know the outcome of the talks, but I do know, based on the information I've received from insiders and people in the know, that some representatives from some major OEMs, automotive OEMs, have visited the Lordstown plant. So, I'm not going to say who it is, and I don't know what the outcome was, but major OEMs. And Ninivaggi made the point of saying that the Endurance is one of the few full-size battery electric vehicle pickup platforms. And other than, well, you know, the Rivian, you know, guys, I mean, the Rivian isn't really a pickup truck. It's a SUV. It's not, you know, it's not meant. I mean, I saw a guy put some lumber in the bed and he was upset because the plastic bed lining panels in it were getting scratched. You know, the tonnier cover that rolls in and over the bed is failing on a lot of models. The complex suspension, I understand, is self-leveling all the time, kind of being a pain in the butt. Anyway, just talking about the two competitors there. As for the Ford Lightning, I have a video, you can look it up. The Ford Lightning is not braking. They did a braking test at 60 miles an hour where they stopped 3 times consecutively, like a panic stop, which you would experience on a major highway, which is common in the Los Angeles area, for example, and the brakes overheated and actually started smoking, because that is a heavy vehicle, as is the Rivian. They're over-dependent on regenerative braking, and that does not work in panic stops or quick stops. Anyway, so getting back to the Endurance, it is one of the, you know, it's one of 3 pickups. It's the only pickup, battery electric pickup, that has a solid rear axle, which makes it a real truck, okay? It's also 4-wheel drive. But the point is, this platform will allow other OEMs to enter the market quickly. Okay? So think about that. Major OEMs have visited the plant. We don't know what the outcome of that is. Other OEMs to enter the market quickly using the Endurance platform. Dan Ninivaggi is pursuing this. Okay? And he is the strategy guy here. So it looks to me like licensing the Endurance to be sold under other brands. And I have here major OEMs. And this likely would be the Endurance to be sold under other brands, built by Foxconn under contract. I have question mark, but there is no reason why this wouldn't happen. We could say that the other OEMs are going to build them at their plants, but nah, they're going to build it at the Foxconn plant in Lordstown. With body and other variations unique to the OEM brand. So in other words, let's just take major OEM, you know, Edsel or whatever. Let's just make up a name, okay? They want to sell a pickup truck. They go to Lordstown Motors and they say, we want to use your platform, your Endurance, but we want to make the truck our own. So we want to use the same skateboard, the same technology. What we want to do is we want to change the front fascia. We want to change the interior. Here are the variations we want to make. Okay, they submit the drawings and designs. Then they take that design to Foxconn, who is running the line at Lordstown. Foxconn cranks out those trucks, which are basically the Endurance, with a different grille, different taillight configuration, different interior, and then those vehicles are then shipped off to the OEM to be sold under their brand name, Edsel. So it is an Endurance, cosmetically different, sold under an OEM brand. This is new. Ninivaggi said, other OEMs can enter the BEV pickup market quickly and cheaply via the Endurance platform. Now he mentions cheaply here. Once scaled up with the hard stamping dies for the bodies to lower the bill of material costs, you've got to understand there are many advantages to hub motors, and the driving advantages and the torque vectoring and the traction. I don't know if you've seen the latest commercial of that truck whipping around on a wet surface. I mean, as I said, this, if Porsche made a pickup truck, this would be the pickup truck, okay? But you got to understand, when you put all this together, for example, the drivetrain for the Endurance has 4 moving parts. Do you know how to change a motor, to change a hub motor on an Endurance takes 5 minutes to change the motor with common hand tools. Can you imagine how quickly that can be manufactured at scale? Can you imagine how much easier that is to install than, let's say, a Tesla drivetrain with a cradle, with the shock mounts, with the CV joints, with the reduction gearing, with the drive shafts? None of that is on the Endurance. They can crank the Endurance out. I believe SCHMIDT said 8 units, 8 units a minute. Anyway, the point is, this, once ramped up to full production, is going to be unbeatable from the manufacturing standpoint, and it's going to be less workstations to install the drivetrain, less staff to install the drivetrain, lower cost. When at scale, the bill of materials is going to be smaller for this drivetrain. It's revolutionary, and that is the key to the Endurance platform. And when they say quickly and cheaply, they mean the Endurance is homologated, certified, or will be. All this equipment is ready to go, and they can crank. This is the reason Foxconn was interested in working with Lordstown. He saw the manufacturability of the hub motor. How this is someone that knows electronic manufacturing. They know, and by the way, Foxconn is running the hub motor line. They are manufacturing the motors, okay? They know what they're doing. They're going to be cranking these motors out. The cost of these motors is going to drop at mass production. The cost of putting these motors on the truck is going to drop with mass production. And the cost of the truck is going to drop with mass production, and the margins are going to grow. And this is the Endurance platform. This is what it's all about. LMC is, so this is new. This is a strategy of, well, we're going to go through this on the summary, but just take a look at all this and see what this means, okay? Now, in addition to seeking, we have Foxconn, which has the right to distribute the Endurance worldwide as a fleet vehicle, or as they wish, I think. And then we have Lordstown, which is going to distribute the Endurance as a fleet first, maybe direct to customers. We don't know. If they get enough large OEMs, maybe they will just keep it as a fleet vehicle and let you buy it as under another OEM's brand. So in addition to looking for, so this is, let me see if I can get this highlight tool to work here. This is the, I can't get it to work. Well, okay, guys, you get the message here. It looks like the Endurance is going to be sold under brands, okay? or this is what they want to do anyway. Okay, and LMC, in addition to this, is seeking fleet customers to launch the Endurance. And limited number of partners for the first MED joint venture. Okay, so LMC is seeking fleet customers to launch the Endurance. Hightower has said this. Ninivaggi is confirming this. They have a limited number, I believe it's 5 fleet customers that they are going to launch the first 500 trucks to. So that would probably be 100 vehicles each in California, Ohio, Detroit, I forget the other location. Okay, so they're looking for kind of a private launch, okay, and they don't want to give, the haters. I just saw that woman with the fake accent who has the EV channel that really doesn't know what she's talking about. She's constantly criticizing the Endurance and boasting about the Aptera. They use the same drivetrain. I don't know. Anyway, the point is, they're going to have a launch that's going to be with a limited number of customers, and they're going to keep these naysayers out. So partners, limited. Now, this is new as well. Seeking a limited number of partners for the first MED joint venture vehicle launch. He did not say fleet. So, didn't say fleet. Hightower was just in Taiwan or Taipei, however you want to talk about it. The first MED joint venture vehicle did not identify the vehicle, the joint venture vehicle type, or anything else. I have in my previous video a spy photo of a van, a fleet van. Also, I have mentioned repeatedly about the Model C, LuxGen, Yulang Model C crossover vehicle, low-cost grocery getter crossover vehicle, great looking vehicle. I think these are the 2 possibilities for this first MED joint venture program. The van would use the Endurance platform. If they want to use the MIH platform, Motion in Harmony, they're going to go with the crossover, the Model C. So, after they do the first joint venture product launch, which I think is going to be the crossover, LMC North America has a distribution right for that. So this is a lot going on. This is a great vehicle. If they want to release it as a fleet vehicle to, for example, Hertz or someone, and keep their business strictly fleet, which they want to do fleet first, this was always the procedure, they may do that. But they are talking, and they are underway since the joint venture was signed, and so on and so forth. This IP has been transferred to Lordstown Motors. This joint venture vehicle is imminent. And Hightower said 24 months to the first vehicle, and with the work that's already been done on this, I bet they can do it quicker than that. Okay? Because the platform is engineered out. Anyway, the point is, the first MED joint venture product, so Lordstown will get the North American distribution rights to that. So what do we got here? They're ready for launch. They've gone with a lean program at Lordstown. They've made a lot of key placements. They are ready to launch. Actively seeking, in addition to the MIH joint venture, they're seeking other OEMs to sell a rebranded Endurance. And they're also going to launch the Endurance to fleet customers, and they're also looking for a limited number of partners for the first joint venture vehicle launch, which Lordstown Motors will have the North American rights to. So we've got so much going on here. Okay. Now let me just move on to the next page here, if I can. Oh, new mouse. Okay. Ninivaggi, staggering strategy announcements. LMC Endurance will be the fleet model, at least upon initial launch. Perhaps a consumer model too. But the platform, at least the plans at this point, and they are talking, I have inside information, they are talking to major OEMs. I'm not going to say who, we don't know what the outcome of that is, but they have physically visited the Lordstown plant. Platform will be licensed to other OEMs to be sold under their brands. This is new. This is built by Foxconn. And I'm saying here with cosmetic brand differences. This is massive. We are projecting, the first year's production to be 5,000 vehicles, I believe, by Lordstown. With this in place, with the successful technical launch to the fleet, the test launch now with the 500 units to the fleet managers, and also with the scaling up of the hub motor and other production lines, the stamping lines, the hub motor production line. If they do get another OEM to sell a rebranded Endurance, 10xing that number from 5,000 to 50,000 is not a big deal. And that plant can handle it. So this is very big news. So Ninivaggi is apex predator. He's not going to fight the major brands. He's going to sell them the platform and let them sell it. And this is a game changer. Big deal. The first MED joint venture vehicle is seeking partners. Will these be major OEMs like the Endurance licensing? Will they license out this joint venture vehicle? There is a possibility of that as well. Again, with different cosmetic changes. I have a feeling that this joint venture vehicle is going to be the Model C, and it's also going to be the Fisker pair, using this same model of a skateboard with cosmetic changes for the client. LMC, I have down here, will LMC stick to fleet license out all license out all consumer sales? In other words, will Lordstown Motors, not to compete with its own secondary customer base, will they just stick to fleet and then license out all their consumer sales to other OEMs? Sounds like it will in North America. That's LMC territory. That's the speculation. So, LMC, the Endurance, and other products are going to be launched, according to this logic, as fleet vehicles. And they're going to license out the proven technology to major OEMs to sell as consumer sales. This is one strategy that could happen. And this is in North America. The units sold, you're talking 10x, maybe 20, 10x. I want to say 20x. I think with the hub motors and the simplicity of the hub motors, I do believe the Foxconn Lordstown facility can do 100,000 units a year. Maximum capacity as it is without expanding. So anyway, I think people that are estimating sales numbers based on these numbers given out by Lordstown are missing the other half of this picture here, and it is explosive. Now, the MED product is imminent. The van would employ the proven skateboard of the Endurance. The U-Long Model C crossover would use the MIH platform. Since he did not mention fleet, as Ninivaggi, I'm parsing here, as the MED product, so it implies the Model C, in my opinion. And the Lordstown Motors van could very easily be launched as a Lordstown, again, as a Lordstown labeled product to fleets, and also rebranded to major OEMs to sell as a battery electric vehicle. So I think also with the pair production coming up, I believe this Model C is going to be the first MED product, the joint venture product. You know, the sales potentials here are massive. Lordstown Motors, they have licensing agreements and they're paid royalties, and you know, we're going to have to go over this joint venture agreement. But North America is their territory. This is all going to be Lordstown product line. This is all going to be revenues generated by Lordstown. They're not going to fight the major OEMs. They are going to sell them the truck and let them make money on it. I mean, this is massive, okay? And we got the Endurance launching. We got this Model C launching. And I believe the van is going to be next. Okay, I have down here. Now this is my final conclusion here. Let's see if I can get this centered. LMC will be a white label manufacturer, okay? In the past, and this is, if anybody remembers buying white label hard disk drives, there were white label manufacturers. They'd make the drives, they'd sell them to the major drive manufacturers. The drive manufacturers would put their stickers on them and sell them as their brand. So, I believe, and to me, this is the Foxconn / Lordstown model here. Foxconn is going to be, let's just define this. LMC will be a white label manufacturer. White label or white labeling or white label manufacturing is a process whereby a retailer, and I have down here a substitute for retailer, major auto OEM, someone who wants to purchase a product for resale, contracts with the manufacturer, that is Lordstown Motors, Global BEV Design and Engineering, with Foxconn Contract Engineering Manufacturing. So these OEMs are going to contract with that unit, with LMC and Foxconn, with the manufacturer of the product who agrees to sell the product, in this case would be the Endurance BEV truck, to the retailer, major OEM, for rebranding using the retailer's unique brand packaging / vehicle designs. And Lordstown is going to, it appears from Ninivaggi's statements here, they're going to have a private label, Lordstown Motors fleet brand, and they're going to have a consumer white label brand. At least part of their consumer sales are going to be a white label manufacturer to major OEMs, supplying them with a battery electric pickup truck, which they can make cosmetic changes to and rebrand. I think this is massive. Again, the people are looking at Lordstown Motors as a manufacturer who is going to fight the big guys and go out there and, fall on their sword trying to win market share. And Ninivaggi saying, hey, wait a minute, you know what? We're going to prototype and we're going to get our vehicles out and get the miles on them and prove the worthiness in the fleet market. And then we're going to resell as a white label manufacturer to these major OEMs. And what OEM is not going to take them up on this? Okay? You want to sell a battery electric pickup truck for a reasonable price that's going to be eligible for the tax rebates, that's got a solid rear axle, that's four-wheel drive. We're going to build it for you. You tell us what you want it to look like. We'll make it look like that. We'll ship it to you. You can sell it. Mark it up and sell it. Okay? Come on. Every major manufacturer is going to do that. And you got to understand, Lordstown Motors is the only one that has the hub motor technology. And they're the only ones that can take this cost advantage and performance advantage and manufacturing advantage to the market. I think this is massive. So, again, what we have is, this is MXUX. What we have here is just a whole new, this is a new strategy to my way of thinking. I have not heard this before. This is, in many ways, the Foxconn model. This is a melding of these two companies. So these two companies are starting a dynasty here, and they're not only going to have their private brands, but they're going to be white label manufacturers for the rest of the market. And when you look at a battery electric vehicle, it's kind of like an appliance, and what people care about is, the range, the reliability, the quality, the software, and so forth. You look at Tesla's got a 70% satisfaction. I mean, Tesla's just a monster. With the production of a reliable, safe vehicle and at a reasonable cost, and being a white label manufacturer for the rest of the industry, and this could potentially be worldwide as well. You can look at the sales here. I mean, they're going to say this is a blah 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 pickup based on the endurance platform, or based on the Lordstown Motors, the proven Lordstown Motors four-wheel drive BEV platform. Okay, this is a real truck with a solid rear axle, or this is a crossover based on the MIH platform, which is going to be another proven platform, and this MIH platform is going to be under many different cars, and I believe the Fisker Pear is going to be one of them. And again, that is going to be engineered out by Lordstown Motors and built by Foxconn. So I think these guys got a plan to take over the world. I think these sales estimates that are out there, I just saw a Seeking Alpha article that said, oh, well, they're going to make 500 units this year, and they're going to make 5,000 next year, and that's pretty disappointing. And this blows all of that out of the water. And I'm going to add, this earnings call was the same day as Tesla's call. It got virtually no press. There were no analyst questions at the end of the call. The analysts missed all of this. All of this. Everybody was paying attention to Tesla. Also, the run-up in the stock, oddly not mentioned anywhere. I don't know what, we had a 15% gain one day, certainly one of the top gainers in the market, in a down market. So Lordstown Motors is definitely a sleeping giant. In my opinion, that's operating under the radar right now, and all of this is just going to come together in, I think, in one day. I mean, just one day you're going to say all of a sudden, boom, all this is going to happen. Now, I'm not an engineer, I'm not a lawyer, I'm not a financial advisor. RIDE is a high-risk investment. Do your own DD on this, but I'm planning short videos on Hightower's comments during this call and also on Kroll's comments during this call. Just by way of summary, this is breathtaking. The company reported a profit. They've cut their costs substantially. The product's going to launch, and they need you know, what? Boy, 1/5 of the money they thought they needed. So this is all very positive news, and this is MXUX, and I found this breathtaking. Guys, you can read this over, replay this, and blow it up on your phone and read it over. You got to go over these comments. It's really something. Big deal in my opinion. Thanks for watching. This is MXUX.